Well, hey guys, Thorzak's here, and I got a package in the mail from Optics Planet the other day, and they were the Buris signature rings that I had ordered for the Remington 700 project. And what I wanted to do, I already unboxed it and took them out, and I took one of them apart here. The other one is still intact right here. You can see that. So, we're all there. The real magic behind these, scope rings, all right, is that they have an insert, okay? And that insert is held in there by a recess here, okay? And they also have a raised area that's a bearing surface right here that the plastic insert can be turned on, okay? And this way you can center your scope by using a culminator right over the top of the bore. And when you turn this one, you can also take the one, the other one, and you can turn this one in any fashion that you need to go ahead and make sure that the scope is straight. And the way that you do that is by using the culminator and looking at the shadow that's being casted, inside the mechanism by holding a mirror over the end of the objective lens to just let a little bit of light in. And what you can do is you can center your crosshair internally with a culminator, okay? And then what you can do is you can turn the rings on the inside to bring those two in conjunction with one another to align them both with the bore. Now, another thing that I did, I'm going to have to mount these first. I'm going to have to take and throw these in the mount and see how these work. But also, these are the low mounts. And what I want to do is I want to get the center of my reticle as close to the bore as possible. And that's really important. Now, for hunting purposes, back in the 70s, they're still available. But a lot of guys back in the day, what they would do is put these see-through ring mounts on their rifles. That way they could look through and look at the iron sights if their scope had fogged up, or they got water beads all over the objective lens or whatever, and they could just use the iron sights if they got a shot at a deer or something like that. The only thing is that's fine for hunting, but it's not really good for target use. Because you're tilting the gun this way, that way, and it's harder to hold it straight, and it'll complicate things. But for hunting, it's fine. These are the instructions. It comes with a full range of different instructions and things that you can read about these to get the most out of them. How to set it up. The whole 9 yards. These are extreme rings. These rings are made, for ultimate accuracy and windage values and elevation values when you use it with a Picatinny rail, because you can also set up the Picatinny rail with your culminator, so where you have a full range of elevation as well. All the clicks up count. You're not kind of having to come up like 20 clicks to get on paper at 100 yards. You can set up your, Picatinny rail so where you only have to come up 2 clicks off the bottom to get it, a center hit at, 100 yards. And then all you got after that is dope. You just look at your speed of your bullet. You compute that against the bullet drop at the distance that you're firing, and then you compute times distance on your clicks, because your click values increase as the yardage goes out. So once you've got that all figured out, and it's a no-brainer. If you shoot a particular bullet, and say like you shoot it at 200 yards, and then you move to 300 yards, and then you move to 600 yards, and then you move to 1,000 yards, you're going to know the click values up off the bottom of where your 200 yard zero is. It's great, it's fantastic. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these doodads, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mount them on the rifle, and I'm going to get rid of those Leopold, rings. I'm going to put those back in the package, and put them on something else or whatever. But eventually, I want to go ahead and switch all my rifles over to these. They're just worth the money. I mean, there were some articles years ago about how these would slip under recoil and stuff like that, and that was back then. And I think because of the popularity of these and what you can do with them, has really boosted the sales in them. So they're kind of hard to get. But they come in a really nice case. I mean, it comes with a whole, set of different ring inserts, for the different thicknesses for the off center that you got to do. It comes with a mounting wrench. There's a mounting wrench in there for the screws, and I just went on to Harbor Freight and got me a set of T handles. It just works better. Yeah. So anyway, when I get it all mounted on the rifle, I'll go ahead and I'll shoot you guys a small video on how to set it up, and we'll just do that right here. I've got a culminator on the way. And we'll just go through it step by step, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay? So anyway, this is Thor's axe, and I want to give a shout out to my viewers. I really appreciate your guys' support. I've been getting really positive comments from people, and guys writing in saying, I never thought of it that way, or have you tried this, or this is what I do, and that sort of thing. And that's great. I mean, this whole thing with YouTube is about sharing information, and the different experience levels are there. You can see the excitement of the new guys. They're discovering this whole thing, and they're it's a whole new world to them, and it's just great. I mean, this is fantastic. This is what shooting is all about. Making connections with people. It's the most friendliest sport in the world. Most friendliest sport in the world. This isn't like NASCAR. If you go out and shoot competitively, if your gun breaks down, usually a competitor there is going to give you a gun to finish out with. Now, in NASCAR, if your car blows up, well, the Wonder Bread guys, they're not going to say, hey, we got a spare car in the van there, man. You can finish out with that if you want. It's just a whole different ball game. And even the shooting disciplines are a little different. Once you get into them, the bullseye guys with the pistols, versus the rifle guys, and there's just a different atmosphere that's built around those different disciplines and things. The cowboy action guys, and then the action shooting guys, and then the PVC guys, and they have their own little communities, and they have their own little environment, or atmosphere that they project, and it really does have an awful lot going for it. And if I can say one thing, shooting sports, even if you're just a novice, going out to a match and things like that, it expands your knowledge, and you get to know different tricks of the trade, more or less, or different techniques, and things like that from other competitors, and you watch what they're doing, or you watch the different ammo they're shooting, or you kind of eavesdrop a little bit and find out what their hand load is, or what bullet they're using, or whatever, and it just opens up, and I'll tell you what, shooting sports has really done an awful lot for me. And I would encourage anybody out there that can afford the time and the expense to just go ahead and do it. It's awesome. Even if you're just a novice, even if you're only going to load 50 rounds a week or whatever, and that sort of thing. Go out and give it a try. It's fun. And the people you're going to meet usually end up being lifelong friends of yours. It's great. It's a fantastic sport. Fantastic people. So anyway, this is Thor's axe, and I'm going to go ahead and sign out. I'm going to go ahead and get this mounted on my Remington 700, and then go ahead and mount the scope in it. And then I got to wait for the culminator, and then we can go through that series. So, with that, I bid you a fair adieu, and go out and do some shooting today.